Hello there, YouTube. It is your boy B3 back with another kicking Tokusatsu First Impressions video. Yes, our premiere of this series was Mobile Cop Giban, a Metal Heroes show that I'd been wanting to watch for a long time. And today we are talking about Ultraman Arc and my first impressions on that. I did watch the dub before you subtitle purists get mad at me. First off, dubs make these shows far more accessible than they would be if they were only subbed. It makes it a lot easier for children to enjoy these shows, and Ultraman is for children first and foremost. And then there's also people who have had strokes or are dyslexic and can't really follow subtitles as well, you know? Or what if they don't make subtitles in a language you understand, etc. 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 Dubs are important, and the reason I watched the dub instead of the sub is because there is a new YouTube channel called Ultraman Official English Channel, where they're posting all English Ultraman content, and I specifically want to support this channel to encourage them to release more stuff for us here in the West. So I will be watching everything this channel puts out. At the time of recording this, I think there's 4 videos maybe? Yes, 4 videos. The Ultraman Arc trailer, a couple other things I haven't gotten to, which I think are just promotions for Ultraman, and then the first episode of Arc. I watched the live simulcast premiere that premiered at the same time as the sub, which is on their normal channel, and I really enjoyed it. Most of it is pretty business as usual Ultraman stuff, but there were a lot of things that stood out to me personally. Right at the beginning, we get this really cool found footage shot of a kaiju attack and then Ultraman saving people. Really well done shot. If you've watched my horror movie reviews, you know that I am a huge found footage buff, and I really respect it. It's a lot harder to do than a lot of people think. Anyhow, the opener was fine. You know, the opening theme was, I think, pretty standard-ish. Kamen Rider continues to have the best themes, in my opinion, out of all these tokusatsu shows. But this theme was fine. I don't see myself looking for it on Spotify or anything anytime soon, but it was enjoyable, you know? A nice, upbeat, lighthearted theme. And during the opener, most of the kaiju they showed seemed like new ones or ones I wasn't familiar with, but they showed someone from Ultra Q that made me so giddy. Kanagon, the money-eating kaiju. Or I guess he's more of a kaijin. Doesn't matter. I was so happy to see that. He's one of my partner's favorites. My partner didn't watch this because he doesn't want to watch new Ultraman. Yes, he's one of those guys. It's not that he doesn't want to watch new Ultraman. It's that he wants to watch it in order. Which is so stupid because most of the seasons are standalone. But whatever. It's what he wants to do. He's still in Showa Ultraman. But continuing onward. Kanagon is one of his favorites. He just bought the Kanagon Spark Doll at the Ranger Stop convention that I go to every year. I think I posted a couple shorts from it. I didn't record much this year at Ranger Stop, but I bought a bunch of kaiju figures myself from Ultraman that I review on the main channel. But the opener was fine, and I was very happy to see Kanagon is going to be in this show. Then we move on to the show. You know, there's always that team, and this team doesn't fight kaiju. Really respected that, and I did expect it because I saw the trailer. They actually try to prevent kaiju from ever emerging. They prevent kaiju attacks from happening in the first place, and then when kaiju do attack, they don't fight them. The Japan Defense Force does. But they help with evacuation and things. I think that's really cool, and to be honest, I kind of think it should be the norm. I'm dead serious. I think that should be the norm over a team that fights them. And you could do so much with this. There could be a team that wants to save every kaiju, and the JDF just wants to destroy them. Or maybe there's also an alternate kind of sci-fi made-up team. And they butt heads over how to handle kaiju. You could do all that. So much you could do with this. But also, a lot of the times in Ultraman shows, the team isn't the one that beats the monster. It's almost always Ultraman that beats it. So the kaiju fighting team often seems useless. Yes, there are Ultraman shows that do it better, and there are special episodes Like, what's it called? The Littlest Hero or whatever. Something. It's in the original Ultraman show where Ide is like, he thinks they're useless and that Ultraman doesn't need them, and Pigman gives his life and snaps him out of it and stuff. Really good episode. Geronimon, etc. Is the big bad in it. Anyway, I think that's really cool. And then a guy from the JDF comes to visit them, and he's kind of like shocked that they do what they do without weapons. And there's also this really funny scene. I'm going to refer to it as the coffee scene. I thought it was really funny. And I think it's probably even funnier in the sub. I will end up watching the sub as well at some point, because when I move in with my partner, we're going to watch all of Ultraman, the entire Ultra series all the way through together, and we're going to watch it subbed. So we're going to do that, and I'll see it subbed when we come back around to it. Probably in a few years. Since we got to watch it in order with him. Oh well. As long as I get to watch it, you know? But it was very funny. It was about the JDF guy being like, what do you mean you guys don't drink coffee? And I don't drink coffee, so that like happens to me a lot. Someone will offer me coffee, I'll turn it down, and they'll be like, what are you, insane? And my partner loves coffee. Like he drinks it 24/7, so I just really thought that was great. Really funny stuff. But it continues on, and it's kind of business from usual from there. You know, they're doing their investigation and their sci-fi, science-y, mumbo-jumbo stuff. Kaiju shows up. It's a big turtle called Shenagon or something like that. Seems like a new Kaiju. It's like a big, I want to say like a soft shell turtle almost. It has a lot of features of like hard shell turtles, but it has the long neck that is mostly associated with soft shell turtles. And it's a really cool fight. There's like a timer up in the screen to show how long it takes Ultraman, and at about around 2.5 minutes his timer starts. And it's a really good fight. The cinematography in this show is actually crazy fucking good. Both that opening found footage scene, and then we have this scene as well. This fight is almost one shot, which is really difficult to do. And the director of this episode really pulled it off. Excellent fight. Non-stop, no cutting away to human characters' reactions of the fight. It's just the pure uncut fight. Really good. So I don't know who directed Arc to the Future. Because the subtitles were still kind of fast and I wasn't paying much attention to them. You know how TV show subtitles are. They're like really, really fast. And you can't really absorb a lot of them. But they did a great job. Ultraman Arc Episode 1 Arc to the Future had great kaiju direction. Really great cinematography on those kaiju scenes. And then it ends. But before it ends, the Ultraman kind of tells his host he has to use his imagination. So my guess is that this is not an Ultraman from space. You know, most Ultraman series take place in their own continuity. I think it's arguable where Geed takes place, but the three main continuities are the Showa continuity, which is all the Showa Ultraman series, and then Mebius. Mebius takes place in the Showa continuity. And then there's like the Tiga Dyna stuff, and there is the... there's a newer universe that's like Trigger and one of the other ones. Decker? Something like that. I think so. I haven't watched Trigger or Decker, admittedly. I've been going back and watching older Ultra stuff, Showa stuff, recently. So I've been missing a lot of these newer shows. But I do want to go back, because Blazar looks rad. Any who, what, where, why, and how. You know those like shields, those big rectangular energy barriers Ultraman can make? So when he's using his imagination... Oh, sorry, I didn't finish my first thought, did I? I don't think this Ultraman is from space. I think he was somehow created from our male lead's imagination. Like, there was something that wasn't an Ultraman, and his imagination brought it forth. It doesn't reveal in this episode what this Ultraman is, or how they bonded or anything. In a lot of Ultraman shows, it shows that in episode 1. At least it shows how they bonded. Maybe not what the Ultraman is, but it shows how they bonded. So that's really interesting. Kind of leaves a mystery for us to find out, to tune in next time and see, oh, how did they come together? But also, he makes that energy shield after this. And then he, like, punches it to shatter the energy shield, and then uses the big shattered pieces as blades and stabs the kaiju. It was so cool. It made me gasp. It was the coolest move in the fight. He also, pulls out his big sword, slashes it, and when he performs his final attack and disappears, it leaves this colorful arc-like rainbow in the sky, and that's why he's given the name Ultraman Arc by the JDF. But, in predictable fashion, the JDF guy that visited them, like after the fight, I was like, that JDF guy is going to come join the team permanently, and he's going to bring a coffee maker. And that's exactly what he did. Incredibly predictable ending to the episode. But also a fine ending to the episode. Once again, this is a kid's show. It's a kid's action series. And I love Tokusatsu, Even the ones I don't like, I usually end up finishing. Or at least when I go back to and finish. But I enjoyed this. It was a really solid first episode of an Ultraman show, and I do think it's going to be really interesting going forward. I can't wait to see what they do with Kanagon, the money-eating kaiju. I think the next episode looks like it has a kaiju that I'm pretty sure I've seen before, but this is such a nice new suit for it that I'm pretty sure I've seen it. It's like this elephant-y thing. It looks really familiar. I think it's an old Showa kaiju or something that's been updated. I don't know. Maybe it's an early Heisei or something. But whatever. Ultraman Arc, Episode 1. Arc to the Future. Very enjoyable. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it has some really good cinematography, and it has an open mystery for us to keep us tuning in. But I do want to talk about his very toyetic transformation device. It's this cube, but it's actually this big... There's this really big device that projects from the cube, and then he puts the cube in the device. It seems kind of weird that the device comes out of the cube and then you put the cube in it. That's a little odd. But I understand, because it's not like he can carry around the giant device. I know in a lot of Toku shows they pull him out of nowhere, but I feel like Ultraman devices need to be smaller. Ultraman transformation devices need to be smaller. For me, I would be happy if the transformation device was just the little cube that goes in the big device. But I understand that as this show goes on, there's probably going to be multiple cubes that all get put in there to activate different weapons and activate different forms and armors and stuff. And this show does have armors, and they're very reminiscent of the Ultraman X armors. He didn't use any in this episode. I'm sure he'll get them as it goes along. But I saw them in the trailer, and I was like, those look a lot like Ultraman X's armors. And I hear Ultraman Blazar had armors that go over the main suit like that. And I think that's a cost-cutting thing. I think it's probably cheaper and easier to do that than it is to make full new forms, which would be a whole new suit. I think it's probably just easier to put these armors over a pre-existing suit to create kind of a new form-ish thing. It's probably just cheaper. And I'm okay with that. If it's, a lot of people complain that a lot of suit parts get reused and repainted, and that they have so many weapons and forms just to sell toys. But what people don't realize is merchandise sales fund these shows. Tokusatsu is not cost effective to make. The show's budget can't stand on its own. Not anymore, anyways. People have come to expect so much more from these shows, as the years go on. In order to afford all these suits and miniatures and things, they have to do all these other things. They have to sell merchandise. I buy merchandise from all kinds of these things. Right now, next to me, I have Kamen Rider, Beetleborgs, Power Rangers, and Ultraman merch. Oh, and Gamera right there next to me, too. And that's just what's sitting here next to my recliner, These shows really need that support, that merchandise support. which is good, because they got a lot of that toyetic stuff. And that's ace. So, final thoughts are, solid opening episode. I enjoyed it, and I will, in fact, be tuning in. In fact, I'm going to put all notifications on for this YouTube channel so that I get notified for every episode and every single thing they upload. Because once again, there's only 4 videos. It should be relatively easy to stay caught up. I've already watched half the ones they got up. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links down in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. I'm recording this right after it ended. Like, it ended and I immediately jumped on to record. So, hopefully I can get this up in a good amount of time. I'll try to have this up the day after, but no guarantees. If this is up on July 5th, 2024. No, July 4th. No, that's backwards. I'm stupid. July 6th. It'll be pretty great. So yeah, that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.